Flubbah once again, and I'll say it again. I love his UI. You can see everything going on. It's set up perfectly for spectating.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. And you can see that he uses some of the same abilities a bunch of times so that you can see the cooldowns on them very easily, things like that. He has the major important cooldowns in the middle of the screen on the left. You can see his shock, his tremor, and his hex cooldowns. I like that a lot. There's the sap by Khuna onto that Warlock. Who are they going to open up on? We can see Healing Rain. Healing Rain has already been put down by Boetar, which is pretty neat. It's something you should definitely do.
Yeah, he just really wants to prevent any of the starting bursts, but Khuna already death coiled once again. Such weird death coils coming out from this Warlock, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he just feels like, do anything to stop that opener because, the death coil did sit full and they have so many interrupts to the Warlock. I guess he just feels like that's all they have to do. But, it's going to work out for him, at least so far. We'll see if they come to regret that. Smoke Bomb does go down. They're trying to get the damage going on Swapxy, but really not much was accomplished with that Smoke Bomb, unfortunately, for Khuna, as he is Howl to tear it off. It's trying to be dispelled by Flubbah, but he's unable to get there. And now Flubbah going to go into the Hex as Skenz is being pressured pretty heavily here and is in Fel Armor.
Yeah, and Skenz's Warlock is starting, or his pet rather, is dipping pretty low already. I'd imagine we'd see more pet kills coming out of this team. It's fully dotted. It's even being hit by the Enhancement Shaman. There's a shock onto Blukstack. He is playing the Warlock class. Flubbah doing a great job, keeping his mana up. Botar's mana is fine too. Botar looks like he was being hit just a little bit. Might have just been from all the UA dispels, but Khuna was targeting him there. So let's see if they can get some
both
pressure.
Resto Shamans are basically full in mana. We can see a Riptide going down on the Fell Hunter this time. There's the full Hex though. Do they just want to focus that Fell Hunter, which could be a pretty good choice?
Yeah, we need to see some big pressure coming out of this RLS at this point. It's you need to maybe go for a re-stealth or something in order to truly get some pressure going. But
look at all that damage coming out on the pet, and maybe we can swap over to Swapxy's point of view, see how the Enhancement Shaman is doing for a bit, because that pet is taking a lot of damage, and really we're going to have to follow Swapxy to see where the damage is going. It looks like he wasn't wanting to hit onto a Flubbah a little bit there, and actually a Link, was that? He just linked by accident.
Yeah, that was definitely a mistake there. He did not mean to, I don't believe. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him, as this RLS, I mean, that's a pretty big mistake to make when you have so much on the line here.
Yeah, and, a little bit annoying there, people inviting him anyway, guys. Please do stop that. But we are going to see, Flubbah is doing the best that he can, trying to keep his team alive here, trying to dispel all of those dots and keep them all topped off. And he's doing a good job of it so far. The accident with the Spirit, like it could be critical later if he doesn't have that. Maybe they want to swap to him. There's a coil actually onto Skenz, and he's going to throw out that gifted Naru.
Yeah, and another pet does go down. And like you said, Naru is popped. Nature Swiftness really the only cooldown available for him to use, as well as his Trinket. He still has Healthstone available. But Khuna taking pretty big damage at this point. He's even popped his Evasion. He's trying to prevent some of the damage coming. He's popped his Cloak of Shadows.
And there's the Cloak actually used by Khuna. He's trying to get back there and kite away. And we see that there's a lot of damage coming out right now. The bomb is going to be used onto Swapxy. He's trying to do the best that he can, keep that damage going onto Swapxy. And Skenz has been doing a really good job, honestly, keeping the dots up. It looks like Swapxy is actually in a bit of trouble, but Botar is just dispelling those dots, throwing at the healing waves, playing it pretty slowly here.
Yeah, it's still a pretty slow-paced game. I would prefer for someone to just go Rambo and go all out, and that might be what they're doing onto Botar at this point, as they put him into a full kidney shot. He's in a little bit of trouble. He does pick himself up quite nicely. Good Riptides, and I don't know if they actually forced Stone Form, but they did use his ancestral. What's the cooldown?
He had to actually trigger that though. Khuna's in a lot of trouble. He gets feared on that. He's going to have to Tremor. And there's the NS coming out just as the Chi Death is remaining. So remember, he has no Link still. NS is used, so he has really nothing left. He uses his Trinket and his NS, and there's no Link available. And I mean, you got to hope for Khuna's sake that doesn't come back to haunt them, because Khuna's already cheated death. He does not have Cloak. There's the coil. Flubbah going to go for the Shock Fake. He does get it, but will it be enough? One big G heal does land. Two will land and top Khuna back off. A full Hex, though, does come out onto Flubbah.
Yeah, but check out Flubbah's mana versus Botar's mana. It's about 90% to 50%. That's very good for Flubbah at this point, but Khuna still taking so much damage. No real defensives available for him. Link is going to be up in a few minutes, so...
Yeah, so it will be up pretty shortly, and then at that point it won't really matter anymore. We can see that this Shaman, though, stuck into a full Fury. He has no Tremor available, and Skenz is going to have to port out of there, as he was taking quite a bit of damage. He needs to tap now. Now there's a full Fear onto Khuna, and Khuna just trying to do the best that he can, keep that pressure up, keep the pressure off of his Warlock, who needs to keep those dots rolling.
Yeah, for sure. It's a rough situation to be in for either team at this point because you can't really get anything going. There's Flubbah, who's doing such a great job of dispelling all the dots off his team, making sure everybody stays topped, and then there's Swapxy and Boetar just interrupting everything coming out from Skenz. And there may be another pet kill here on Skenz's pet. Hopefully Flubbah can keep it up, as that's so crucial for them, as we saw in previous games. There was another Cloak of Shadows pop by Khuna at that point. He's at about 90% health, but look at that Warlock. He's completely He's at about 60% health. He's going to have to tap soon here, and that could spell big trouble.
Yeah, Skenz, though, just lost another pet, and he's Soulburn Healthstone, so I don't know if he has a pet available. Using that Soulburn Healthstone may come back to haunt him. There's a fear that was put down, but he's going to get a Healing Surge. He will catch a Riptide as well. It looks like he's going to be okay. We can see the Hex was put there onto Flubbah, onto Khuna, and he does dispel the UA and the Hex at the same time. He's just trying to keep his team topped off, but for now, still no pet is out for Skenz, and he's trying to run away. He's going to try to go for the Soul Harvest or possibly just a resummon behind the pillar.
Yeah, another Naru is used onto Khuna there. And by the way, Link is up, so that mistake they had earlier, it's not really that big of a deal, thankfully. But still, mana-wise,
yep.
Boetar has to find a way to get mana at this point.
Tremor has been forced there as he was put into the Howl of Terror, so he's not going to have Tremor available. His Trinket is back up, though, and we can see that he's just trying to do the best job that he can to keep his teammates topped off. And I'm not exactly sure what they need to do to get the offensive pressure. The only time they really had it was against Boetar. Now this Warlock Skenz is in a lot of trouble. The Smoke Bomb has to go down, but it's on Swapxy, and Swapsy's down about 10%, 5% HP. Dream Soul comes in, but it is interrupted. Link now popped by Boetar is going to be able to top him off.
Yeah, so he should be fine for now, but to force a cooldown like that, that's pretty crucial. And I don't know how long this match has been going on for. I believe about 7 minutes. But check out Skenz's health. He's at about 50%. He's going for the banish on the Warlock of Blukstack's pet, and he's completely and it is banished. So this could be big trouble.
Yeah, okay, so we do see that a lot of damage could come out there with that banish down. They're going to have to be careful about that. Boetar, is pretty high on mana now. He's actually ahead of mana over Flubbah. And, Khuna, Flubbah, and Skenz, though, they're doing a good job. The pet now being focused by this Enhancement Shaman. He's trying to just finish off those pets, and we can see this Warlock now is actually, taking quite a bit of damage. He's at about 60%. His pet is about half HP, but he does pour out of there. I think I just noticed Skenz doesn't have a Soul Link.
Yeah, that's not good for him. Maybe his pet was sitting in a banish or something, or maybe he didn't notice when he got spell locked again when he resummoned one.
Yeah, look, there's no Soul Link. He has no Soul Link up, man, and that could actually, this happened to the last team again that this happened to, and it's like, actually lost them the game, so, it might end up losing these guys the game too, but they have to be so careful, man. They really just have to do the best that they can to notice that, and I'm surprised that Flubbah hasn't noticed it either, and Flubbah's going to actually be taking a ton of damage. Oh my god, he spiked so low. He may need to Link here. He gets to the Earth Shield. He's going for a G-Heal. I think he might have faked one shock there, but he gets Spirit Wolf Bash, and this Enhancement Shaman's going to connect back to him. He is in a blind, actually, and Khuna, though, taking a ton of damage on the other side of the map, and it looks like the Enhancement Shaman's going to swap over onto him.
Yeah, Khuna is at about 50% at this point. Check out the mana, though. Boetar somehow managed to get some form of mana back. Maybe it was a really nice out-of-combat tide or something to that effect.
Yeah, and we see that there's some big heals that need to come out here. Crit G-Heal does land onto that Warlock, and now Ari, and that is Khuna playing that Rogue, is going to be catching some big heals as well. Boetar has taken some damage. Swapxy looks like he's dotted up as well by Skenz. He's trying to do the best that he can to keep this pressure rolling right now. But so far, that pet is about to go down again for Skenz, and that actually might help him because that might make him realize that he needs the Soul Link up. But Flubbah, doing a good job keeping his team alive. He does throw down a mana tide, I do believe. He still has NS now. He doesn't have Trinket, but he has Link. He has NS. And as we see, he is just trying to hold those cooldowns as long as possible. Swapxy, Boetar, really just trying to do the best that they can.
Yeah, you can see he's not doing too well on mana either.
Yeah, okay, and so we see that so far there's a swap over onto Flubbah, and Flubbah is really just trying to take so much damage here as he was swapped to by the Enhancement Shaman. Did get dipped a little bit low. There's a Hex onto Khuna, and Khuna is going to be dispelled by Flubbah. We see that right now Flubbah just doing a pretty good job on his mana, but on the other side, Boetar is doing a little bit better, and Smoke Bomb goes down, but it is trinketed, and Swapxy going to get out of there, throw a gift and an Naru on himself again, and Swapxy doing a really good job defensively.
Yeah, and now Flubbah still somewhat low on mana, but with all the pets dying from Skenz, they need some way to end this game. They force, I think, a single Spirit Link has been forced by the RLS. They need to force more cooldowns here. Force a Nature Swiftness, get some trinkets going, but Skenz just can't put out any pressure. And this is why this double Shaman team is so strong. Double shocks, double groundings, double tremors. It's so frustrating. But here comes some big damage as Spirit Wolves have been popped. And I don't know if Flubbah can actually live through this. He's going to have to pop Naru on himself and just have to use so much defenses
But he
here.
did actually get that Geo off right in their face, able to get that free casted off. And Skenz, his pet did die again, so now he has the Soul Link up, so that won't be an issue. Boetar, his mana's looking really good. He's at about 55-60% mana, just throwing out healing waves the whole game, dispelling, riptiding, etc. We see the Khuna, he was taking a little bit of damage, going to get dotted up in that Frost Shock root. There's a banish onto Skenz pet. Full Hex does go down onto Flubbah.
Yeah, Skenz is at about 50% at this point. Full dots onto him. Thankfully, he does have Soul Link available on himself at this point. If actually a Warlock didn't get Soul Link, I would 100% not kill their pet. I would just make sure they didn't have any opportunity to notice that. But another pet does fall, so this is not good. And
he's actually MCS on the instant summon. I wonder if he's going to, he does get it off. It would have been nice to see a Hex come out or something. If they could have denied that, it could have been huge. But they're going to swap right back onto Flubbah. No UA is up just yet, but he does get the Earth Shield. He's taking some damage here. He's actually just being hexed as soon as he Earth Shields himself, which is really smart. But unfortunately, it did break to damage, so he will be able to get the Earth Shield up on someone else. But maybe that's a strategy they could employ. If the Enhancing Shaman could get that Earth Shield up, it could be huge with a swap. But Boetar, at the same time, is at about 30% HP. He's dipping pretty rapidly, actually, taking a lot of damage, and some major defensive cooldowns may have to be used.
Yeah, I think Boetar's in a little bit of trouble here. Still just trying to kite away from the Rogue and the Warlock, but he appears to be fine now. Swapxy does a great job of always making sure that no real cooldowns have to be popped. He throws some nice greater healing waves here and there, and it's a good thing. But Flubbah still has Earthshield on himself. He feels like he's going to be swapped to here, and I think he will be. Full dots on him, double shock. He's in a lot of trouble. His Warlock was sitting in a full hex, and look at Flubbah's health. He's so low, he's going to have to link, but no one's inside.
Oh, and he does just go down, and wow. Had the link, he had NS up as well, and Trinket, he had everything, but just unable to get those off before going down there, and they are going to lose the first game, and just be honest, looking pretty good.
Yeah, so just be honest, we'll go up 1-0